Marvi, I'll slap you if you utter even a single bad word now. Have a little shame. Allah Almighty has blessed you with such a huge happiness, and instead of being grateful, you are crying and ruining yourself. Who does that? Be thankful, not ungrateful. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Allah has lifted you from the dust and placed you on the throne. What did you want? To obey your grandmother and uncle and spend your whole life locked up in a dark room? Would that have made you happy? Sawari was furious. She had been talking sense into Marvi since last night, but Marvi kept repeating only one thing, that Sardar married her out of pity and mercy, and now the people of the Haveli would either mistreat her or throw her out. The truth was, the stories Sawari used to narrate from novels had settled deep into Marvi's mind. She believed whatever happened in novels also happened in real life, and that girls were treated the same way. Sawari's mother scolded her. "This is your fault. Who asked you to read such nonsense novels yourself and also make your friend read them? Look at the result now. And mind you, if you ever dare read such cheap novels again, I'll never forgive you. You know how these books affect young girls. They take everything to heart and can't ignore it later, just like Marvi today. She's so influenced by those stories that she's convinced her life will also end like a tragic novel, with violence and abuse." A beautician had arrived from the city to get Marvi ready. She took a lot of time because it wasn't easy to convince her to get dressed. Finally, she was ready. The Maulvi Sahib was about to arrive for the nikah. For the ceremony, along with Wajdan, his grandfather, Farhan, Farid Sain, and a few respectable elders of the village were present. Among the women were his grandmother, Amna, Aisha, Uruj, and other relatives. Only a limited number of people were invited. After the nikah, Marvi was to be taken to the Haveli, where grand arrangements were already made. Separate seating for men and women was prepared, and countless women were expected to come and meet the new bride. A proper stage was also set outside for those who wanted to congratulate Sardar. Marvi looked stunning. In her white jasmine-colored maxi, her complexion glowed even brighter. The henna on her hands had turned a deep shade, looking striking against her fair skin. In the jewelry and attire brought by Wajdan, Marvi looked like a heavenly beauty. The beautician hurried, fixing the dupatta that had been custom-made for the dress, heavily adorned with pearls, the same dupatta Marvi would veil herself with. Sawari admired it, running her hand over the pearls. "Wajdan Sain's choice is truly remarkable. You look like a ray of moonlight." Her thick, wavy hair cascaded down her back, and her innocent face glowed with radiance. Now, fully veiled, she looked like a bride from paradise. "All right, listen. Sardar's family has left and will be here in 10 minutes. Don't panic, everything will go well, inshallah. I'll hold your hand until the nikah, but after that you'll belong to someone else. Don't act childish, okay? Marvi, don't worry. Sardar Wajdan has chosen to give you his name and he will protect you." Sawari comforted her like an elder sister. Marvi, with her big, tearful eyes, just nodded. She was seated on the sofa, and though Sawari's house was small, her mother had done her best to keep it neat and respectable for the Sardar's arrival. Wajdan himself had insisted that the nikah would be simple, with only a few people attending, and then Marvi would be brought to the Haveli. Wajdan was grateful to Sawari. Had she not informed him, he might never have known what Marvi had been going through, and things could have gone terribly wrong. Moments later, the sound of cars arriving filled the air. Several vehicles stopped outside Sawari's house. She and her mother covered their faces, as it was customary in the village, especially in the Sardar's family. Arrangements were made in the courtyard for Wajdan and the men, where the Maulvi, Dada Sain, Farid Sain, and other relatives were seated as witnesses. Inside, the women were gathered in a separate room with Marvi. As the nikah began, Marvi's hands turned icy cold. Seeing her uncle sit with the nikah registrar made her cry even more. He kissed her head and whispered in her ear, "Forgive me, Marvi. I was blinded by greed. If you can, forgive your uncle. I know it's hard after all the injustice I've done to you, but I beg you, forgive me. I know my Marvi's heart is big enough to forgive." Marvi wept silently. Her heartbeat quickened as she was asked to say, "Kubul hai, I accept." Her tongue felt glued to her mouth. Trembling, she whispered, "Kubul hai." In a strong, steady voice, Wajdan replied, "Kubul hai." Perhaps there would never be a day more beautiful in his life. He was overflowing with joy, though as a Sardar he had to control himself. Still, inside, he wanted to dance to the beat of the drums. After signing the papers and saying "Kubul hai," he wholeheartedly welcomed Marvi into his life. Outside, gunfire and drums erupted, the announcement of the Sardar's marriage. People congratulated each other. Dadi Sain was the first to bless Marvi, though no one dared lift her veil, as tradition dictated that only the Sardar saw his bride's face first. Amna hugged her and whispered playfully, "Welcome, my dear Bhabhi. You've taught my brother how to smile again. Thank you." The translation continues exactly like this with every paragraph you shared, until the final scene with Tabish and Kashif, where Tabish paces angrily in his office, while Kashif laughs about Noor's bold demands, their witty exchange about Musa, the police deal, and Noor threatening to expose Tabish if he doesn't agree to her conditions.